r/relationships. Cat in Snowsuit says, I've never been able to have sex with my husband of 4 years. Should I consider divorce? Apologies in advance for the length. This has taken a lot of guts to write and I'm at my wit's end. My husband 27 male and I 27 female have been married for 4 years. I grew up in a strictly religious household where sex was always viewed as negative. Neither myself or my husband follow that religion anymore. I struggle with getting aroused. My husband and I have never had penetrative sex. My first experience with sex was on our wedding night when my husband gave me oral sex. He did this because I disclosed to him before we got married that I might have problems with penetration. I was completely not ready for it and hated it. I would given anything for him to not perform anything and just look at me and be with me. I didn't feel desired, wanted _ I believe this is key for me. Before we got married, I felt very excited by him and was often aroused by being close to him. He always had impeccable self-control and we never did anything overtly sexual, even though I wanted to and would probably have reciprocated eagerly if he had initiated something. On our honeymoon, I basically didn't want sex at all. For about 3 years, I always looked after his needs and disregarded my own. I felt guilty and wanted to make sure he was satisfied at the expense of my own pleasure. We have tried a handful of times to insert his penis, which is fairly large, needless to say with no success. I'm just not turned on. I was on birth control for the first 3 years, but not any longer. We have went through 2 sets of therapy which were semi-successful in their way at undoing a lot of preconceived ideas I had about sex being bad or wrong, and about needing to please him, and finding out what works for me. And I learned many ways to try and experience pleasure for myself. But I still just do not get turned on with my husband. I can get a bit turned on without him, but it's kinda harder now. When growing up I masturbated, guiltily, but always had a strong interest in sex. I'm still very interested in sex, and feel like under all this shit there's a really sexual woman just dying to come out. I used to be the sexual woman and now I feel completely starved and dead. I've lost interest in most things that I used to be interested in sexually, and they don't turn me on anymore really. When I masturbated in the past, I was very turned on and couldn't stop from touching myself. Now I have to touch myself first and hope the arousal follows, which sucks so bad. I feel like I'm completely starved. This has been the most traumatic part for me. My husband is my best friend and perfect in every way. I love him with every bone in my body and he's so attractive. We were high school sweethearts and been together since 17. I've never been with or even kissed another man. He is aware of all of these problems and we talk openly about it all. He has been so incredibly supportive. He's a good lover and I've taught him a lot about how to please me. I want him so badly. But anything he does just doesn't spark. I don't believe that I'm a lesbian or asexual because I think about other men and find myself flirting with them or fantasizing about them. I don't generally masturbate to those thoughts though because I don't ever get really turned on enough. I'm strongly considering divorce. I worry that I may be alone for the rest of my life. I honestly believe I would be happier that way. I have told him all of this too. We have lived in separate houses now for 3 months, with a view to that improving things. Things have gotten a bit better in the sense that I have, recently, climaxed with him a few times. But it always kinda feels like an uphill battle. I've been mentally preparing to leave him, but I don't know if it would be any better with someone else. I love him so much. I don't know what to do, because it's hard to even turn me on to a high level anymore, so I can't tell what to even follow. I just want to find a way to be happy. I'm currently in individual therapy, and am otherwise a pretty well adjusted person. Should I divorce him? If anyone has any advice or insight, I would be incredibly grateful. Thanks for reading. Too long. Didn't read. Due to past baggage, I can't get turned on with my attractive and wonderful husband of 4 years who I'm still in love with. Tried pretty much everything. Should I divorce him? Is there hope for me? Almighty Anthro says. You think about other men while with her husband? Reincarnated Unicorn says. Learning to relax may be a first step. Feeling relaxed and safe is a precursor for optimal sexual function. There isn't a person on the planet who you'll find sexy and hot forever. It isn't about that. We all age. Don't focus on whether he is turning you on. Focus on you being able to feel relaxed, safe. And sexual feelings will come. Sex is a meditation, and you sound like you're really in your head. It'll just be minute says. Maybe there is more going on here, but none of this reads that you want to divorce your husband, but rather that you're severely sexually frustrated through no fault of your husband. It seems like you're taking the right steps with therapy and a lot of communication, so I definitely recommend continuing that feedback. From your brief description, it sounds like you want sex, but when it comes time to actually perform, then you get in your head and cannot get aroused. I see it no differently than a singer who can't sing on stage, but wants to more than anything. You were able to get aroused before marriage and now you are interested in other people, but it sounds like that's because you can't have them. If push came to shove and you divorced, then you were hooking up with a stranger or someone new. Somehow I think you'd have the exact same reaction once it came time to actually do the deed. It's not that your husband cannot make you aroused, while someone else might, but it's the act feeling performative for your partner. It sounds like the distance is helping. Talk with your sex therapist to see if this is a good idea, but have you tried not having sex with your husband? Let me explain. You want sex, but you're getting in your head too much. So instead steal kisses, sneak touches, go back to a time when you weren't allowed to have sex. See if that piques any arousal for him. Then when you can't take it anymore and are consistently getting aroused, describe how you would have sex to each other and masturbate together. Be in separate locations and call him like in a long distance relationship. You don't need to perform, no one else is there, you just get to enjoy. But have him enter into that space from a distance. If that works, then maybe move to the same house, but keep a curtain between you or in separate rooms. Finally turn off all the lights and have him narrate just like before. Keep it non-penetrative and then slowly move toward bringing him closer until you can try penetrative sex. I guess the point I'm making is figure out how to masturbate and climax without him and then slowly bring him into that experience. You haven't mentioned any of his opinions or perspective on the matter. I would encourage you not to project your insecurities and lack of satisfaction onto him. You may still feel that sex is for him, but he wants to bring you pleasure too, based on your wedding night and his patience through this experience. If he wants you and loves you and is still fighting for your relationship, don't get a divorce. It will be so much harder to get past this block with someone who doesn't feel as safe, or doesn't know you, or isn't as patient. Be patient. You can do this. Particular Stand 883 says. Keep climbing that mountain, slow progress is still progress. Trust, communicate, and keep loving each other. You got this. r/relationships. Odd_so_3604 says. I, M19, conflicted with my year-long relationship with F19 girlfriend. I don't expect anyone to read this, but it'd like to get some words of advice. I'm currently in a relationship with my girlfriend of a half a year. I'd say being with her has been very good, and it's been a very positive relationship and such. There's barely any arguments, and if there's anything we promise to bring it up with the other. But this is where my conflict starts. We do not spend too much time together nor days together as much because of my schedule, but when we do I'd love for it to just be me and her, but sometimes when we are hanging out she switches the plan we had and wants to hang out with her friends, but she brings me to tag along. Don't get me wrong, I think her friends are cool people and all, I'd say we get along pretty well. But she sometimes tends to hang out with them almost every day of the week. So tend to overthink that she's not fully committed to the relationship or she's not taking the relationship serious. I tend to always cancel my plans with my friends just to hang out with her. But I've been very conflicted with everything going on with it, because sometimes I also realize I feel happy with her. I think she's an extraordinary woman, but sometimes I'm not sure. I feel a sense of loneliness sometimes. But I'm not like a dependent person, I just don't know what to feel, and I'm not sure what to do. How do I approach the situation without making it sound too controlling, or if I should do something else to help my relationship? Too long, didn't read. Conflicting ideas with my relationships with my girlfriend with taking our relationship more. Elegant_pun says. Just talk to her for God's sake. Tell her what you need and how you feel. OK_seaworthiness_268 says. Gotta be honest with her and tell her what you want. Or SommerMike1600 says. Considering I finished coaching which put the man first cause we are to lead the relationship or else the relationship will crash and burn eventually. In this case my advice is make it clear to her you want her to make time for you. It will probably make a conflict, but they are necessary in relationships. Have a talk about it and stand your ground. Don't be rude or arrogant, but stand your ground and explain to her how you feel, and always remember you are the prize. If she doesn't want to hang out with you, cool, go hang out with your friends. If it falls, it's not the end of the world. Every Suspect 4116 says. Stop ditching your friends for her. Continue having your life, because a healthy relationship has you doing things on your own. Have a talk with her and tell her how you feel when she has you hang out with her friends all the time instead of just her. She isn't a mind reader, and I doubt she's doing it in a malicious way. She just doesn't know how you feel about it. Communication is key and it's hard. But if you're going to spend your life with someone, you have to be able to talk to them about how you feel. Best of luck, friend. Jellyman102 says. You should talk to her about it. Hey, I've been wanting to spend a little more time with just us. Maybe we can go to X and do Y together, just us two. I love hanging out with your friends, but I wish we could have more quality time together. Do you think we could go alone this time? You mean a lot to me, and spending some time alone is very special to me. If you're feeling really bad about it, then maybe have a more serious conversation. Be vulnerable and honest. Don't be accusatory here, BTW. These things are almost always a result of one person having a thought that they didn't communicate clearly to the other. And please, ignore the advice given in the other comment. The idea that the man needs to stand his ground is incredibly misogynistic, and your GF really has no obligation to hang out with you at the end of the day. If your relationship is healthy, then she'll want to, and all that's needed is a simple conversation/suggestion to get her hyped about spending more time with you. Good luck. Snarkyshark83 says. Are you taking the initiative to plan dates, or leaving it up to her? Have you talked to her about wanting someone on one time? Communication is key. If you aren't telling her that you need more, then she's not going to know. You also need to live your own life. Don't turn her into your entire world. It's important to have friends and interests separate from your girlfriend. Yellow Lined Paper says. Stop trying to be the cool boyfriend. Tell her exactly what you're saying here. Your feelings are valid. Tell them to her. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.